What's up, new future? Yeah, false start there. What's up, new future builders? Welcome to this week's What If Wednesday. We continue to build our self awareness and our creativity so we can build a new future. And so here we are. This week, I'm live again. This week, a little bit more polished and prepared, in my opinion. So I want to welcome anyone who is watching this live. As you can see, the power of this live is if I mess up, if I slip up, I just got to keep rolling, just as we do in life. And so I'm excited today to talk about a few key things as we talk about this topic, right? I said that I wanted to take this channel in a direction that was centered around building. And it's building in two ways, building internally and then making sure to take time to build a business that also helps us build a community, build a world that ultimately creates a better future. And so here we are trying to make sure that everything is good with the stream. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of pixelation here, but that is okay. All right. We're rolling. If you're out there right now, leave a comment, leave something in the chat box. I know that you're there. Say hello. I welcome you to the session. Right now, I have some chill hop going off in the background. So you should be able to see that and hear that playing. I actually can't hear it. So you guys got a little extra benefit there as we go on. So just want to let y'all know that. So again, here today we're talking about the topic. The question is, what if you had to start a business with zero money, right? So that's the centered kind of topic. If you have a what if you want to pose in this session, we're here, we're live. That's the power of it. So please feel free to present your questions as you normally would. Okay? Otherwise, I want to talk about a few key things. So hang in there with me as we go through these. Really, and this question came up because one, I listen to a lot of business and entrepreneur style content, right? And some of the things that I encountered, ooh, I just found something. I was looking, I don't know, random. I'm gonna share with you anyway. There's a piece of a microphone that kind of flew off and broke, and I just spotted where the missing piece was landing. I know that's extremely random to share on here on this video, but I thought I would do that. Anyway. So the power, so I turned down this gain a little bit. The power of these what if questions is expanding your creativity. And so while you may have money to start a business, I think this is useful. A lot of the mistakes we make is if we do have money, we rely on that money in the start. And so therefore, it really doesn't put us in a position to start businesses effectively. And that was a mistake I really made at a key point as I tried to go along this journey and this movement was it's really throwing money at things, buying software, right? You may have been there, buying software, investing in some webinar or some fancy program. A lot of these things don't get us what we really want. And so I like to start from the stance of not having any money because it allows us to be more creative in that process. And then two, there's a lot of chatter around just, how do I start? What do? I got this great idea. Maybe I'm not business minded. Maybe I'm an artist. Maybe I'm an engineer, right? Maybe I just develop software. But the business side of things, thank you, Dan B. Welcome. Good topic. You may find it useful as well. Is that, people have that artistic side, that creative side, that innovative side to them. They have great ideas. They have great passion. They just don't know where to start. And so I think coming from the standpoint of what if you were forced to start a business with zero money, and there are some folks who are actually experiencing this, what kind of things you should do. So first, on the principle level, I'm going to get through three key things. And again, if you're watching this, feel free to pose questions, feel free to still share what ifs around this topic, because I still want us to have fun, and I got the music playing. when you're talking. I hope the audio sounds good for once out of the gate. So again, feel free to interact. But some key things, and then I will get off of my high horse. Not that I ever, I try to stay off the high horse, obviously, but I'll stop just my sharing and then see if y'all have anything to say. But one is the principles. And some of the principles to think about as you start a business, it's not about how much money you have, it's about resources. We need to shift our mindset from thinking when I have a business, it's about having money. No, it's about having resources. And what I mean by that, we get too pent up on, I got to have this much cash in order to accomplish things. In the world, right, when things started out, there may not have been money. So what did people do? They traded, they bartered, they exchanged things of value. So no matter what you do and who you are, you have something of value to offer, or you can get access to something of value. So cash isn't always the thing that you need. If you have a skill, sometimes you can trade with that skill. If you have a service, sometimes you trade with that service. I mean, if you have things around the house, it's old school there, right? It's like when we grew up as kids, if I wanted a video game and I didn't have it, but my friend didn't have the game I had, what do? We swapped, right? I got a new game. He got a new game. We all happy. And that's the basic level to it. But keep that in mind as we start business. It's not just about money, right? It's not just about money. Okay, so that's the principle. One is understanding it's not about the money, it's about the resources. And resources is just tied to value, right? If you want more resources, you just need to offer more value, which is not just about the money. So that's one. It's two, people lack or feel like they lack the knowledge and creativity, okay? Tony Robbins has said this, it's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness, right? And that's cliche. So let's break that down. It's understanding that you have to be creative. Things about this what if topic is you have to be creative, right? One thing I like to do, and you may want to try this as you think about this journey of starting a business or being an entrepreneur, one thing I like to do is I brainstorm, right? And that seems really basic, but we underestimate that. One thing, I did a workshop, okay, and I asked them, okay, I want you to talk about or write down all the resources that you think you have, the people that you know, right? The things that you can access, the money that you have, the tools you have. I want you to list those down. So I had them write out the list. Okay. So once they were done, I came back and revisited with them. I said, okay, so now you got that basic list, read off some of those things. And so, people gave me some basic things. I got this much money in the bank account. I know how to do this. I can use the internet. I have a website. And I said, okay, now here's some other things. You have the Small Business Association. You have these other organizations that are geared toward helping businesses. If you're a person of color, you're a minority, you're a woman, there are organizations that are out there just for you, right? There are your neighbors, right? You can access your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor's a lawyer. You want to get information about how to incorporate your business. You don't know where to start. You don't want to hire an expensive lawyer. Hey, your neighbor, maybe you do a favor for your neighbor and they help you out. Who knows, right? You got this big old network of people that that know people. Access that, okay? So again, it's about expanding that list. When I started to present those other things, people's minds just like, wait. I saw the wheels, right? The wheels started spinning as they realized that the resources weren't just limited to what they had right then and there. The resources really expanded beyond that. Again, it's about being resourceful. It's about tapping into other places and other spaces. So that's the second part. Again, just hampering off the kind of taking that Tony Robbins point. It's not about the resources just themselves. It's about being resourceful. Okay, not just the resources, but being resourceful. That's important. Okay, so that's two. Again, these are all principles, right? These are all principles. Understanding what value truly is, understanding what it really means to be resourceful. And then third, I mentioned creativity, right? I mentioned creativity, and that's really one thing. And so I want people to understand part of being resourceful really branches in the third part, which is being ultimately creative, which is why I like this what if. And why I think this is different is because I want you to, again, shift your mindset. It's about shifting your mindset. How many different ways are there to do something? Okay. Because sometimes it seems like there's only one way to do it. All right. It seems like that's the only way to accomplish it. And so we get locked into this idea that there's only one execution point. Like there's only one way to get this done. There's only one way or one procedure in order to make this happen. Only one equation that can make this answer become real. Right. And so just like in math, there are many different ways to write the same problem. The same thing in real life. You need to understand that there are different ways to write the same problem. If I want 4, I can write 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. I can write 2 plus 2. I can write 4 times 1. There are different ways to do it. Okay, and if you want to go outside of that and you want to get super complicated, you can still get to 4 using complicated methods. What I'm saying is there are different ways to write the same problem, just like there are different ways to get to the solution that you want, to get to the business that you want. And so a lot of times when I see the chatter in the comments, when I see people talk about, oh man, I can't do this because of this, because of this, because of this, it's not that they aren't, it's not that they aren't capable, right? They just haven't been creative, right? And I'm saying creative outside of being resourceful, because being resourceful just means stretching your imagination or stretching your mind in terms of understanding what connections you really have. When I say creativity, though, I mean tapping into that inner child, that inner artist, that inner person that has the imagination to think of new things and new ways of accomplishing things. I think the best example really is the DIY space, right? It's amazing. If you were to go on to YouTube, go on to Google, go on to Facebook and search for things for DIY, the other amazing ways that people have discovered how to build the same things we go to the store and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on, that we can effectively do this. Think about this, right? Really, check out the DIY. This is homework. Check out DIY solutions for whatever you want. I'm serious. I am dead serious. Today I Googled how to build a DIY tripod. I already have 2 tripods, right? But I said, oh, I'm curious. I want to see how this works. And it's amazed me all these other solutions that people have come up for something that people want to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on. It blows my mind. But it took creativity, right? It took a certain level of willingness to think outside of the box that has been prescribed to you from the gate. Okay, so those are the 3 key things, right? It's understanding truly what value and resources are. It's about providing value. It's not about money, right? You can start a business without money, but you can't start it without value. And then 2, being resourceful, not just resources, but being resourceful. It's understanding that you have more than what's at your fingertips. And that transitions into the third point of just being purely creative. And these things may just seem like mindset shifts, but these are the ways that people have started businesses. That's why you hear the story of folks started in a garage. They didn't get hung up on needing an office, right? They didn't get hung up on needing an official space, needing some place that had suite number and desks and meeting rooms. No, they got started, right? That's why you hear about people. I slept in my car, because I know I was going to do this. Yes, we heard about people saying, hey, I had to sleep in my office. I had to cut out all these things, right? You got to do it. So I'm going to give you a 4th point, and then I'm going to let you out of here. I'm going to give you a 4th point. First, I'm going to read this comment from Dan B. True, a lot of people don't realize they have neglected their creativity. Sometimes it's worth taking a workshop to exercise their creativity. I think that's very important. I think that's extremely important. There's one exercise, another exercise I'm going to leave you with, and that whenever you make a list, so if it's a list of how you can make your business happen, just as I did with the people in the workshop, you start that list. So you give yourself a certain period of time to start that list. And so when you're done with that list, you take a step back. And then what I encourage you to do is to revisit that list and expand on it. Why? because something will happen. And you can set yourself some reasonable goals. So let's say you want to start with 10 ways that you can get your business started. You step back and you come back and you set up and you say, hey, you're going to force yourself to come up with another 10 ways. No matter how ridiculous, just let whatever comes to mind flow onto paper. You'll be surprised what happens. You'll be surprised, right? You will actually be impressed with yourself after you do this. Do it again if you can. Come up with another 10. Maybe there are 30 different ways you can come up with methods to start your business. Other than that, there's a fourth point. That's more of a tough point. And bonus point, one that may hurt a little bit. I'm sorry, it may hurt a little bit. I needed to go here. Because when people say, I need to start a business, but I have zero money, like I have nothing to work with, there are some folks that's true for. But then there's a populace of people who they have this idea that they're not going to have to sacrifice anything to make that happen. So whether that be picking up an extra shift, doing something they don't like, whether it's giving up a subscription of your cable and TV, whether it's cutting down on the phone data plan you have, or whether it's buying one less meal out, maybe one less pair of shoes, maybe it's cutting down on the partying and what you're spending while you're out. Maybe it's even, I know this is sacrilege for some folks, cutting out the trips to Starbucks, right? There's some sacrifice that you will have to do to open up more resources for you, whether that be more time. So again, realize I said it wasn't just about money, it's about resources. And so you may have to sacrifice some things to create more time, and then of course create more money. But you may have to sacrifice some things to make more time. Let's be real. You may have to sacrifice some things to make more time. So I just wanted that to be clear. And that's it. So those are my 3 points. And then the fourth, you got a fourth bonus point today. I hope that was useful. If you have questions, if you're watching, there's a few people are hanging out right now. If you have any questions, first, I want to thank you for your time right now. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. If you're watching this live or whether you're watching this at home, when you're done and it's over with, make sure you share this. Do me that favor. I really want to get this message out to a lot of people. And I don't just say that as because I want to promote this. Obviously, I want this channel to grow. I really do see these questions and comments often, right? There's other channels I watch. There are live streams I watch. And I feel like I see questions like this asked all the time. How do I get started? I don't have enough money. I don't know the right people. I can't do this. I'm not capable of doing that. I don't have the time. It's not the right place. I feel like I see this all the time, and I don't think I'm making it up. So I just think this will be of value to a lot of people. So thank you for your time. If no one has questions right now for me, then I'm going to close this out as I typically do. Thank you for being here. Awesome info. I got a compliment. This is awesome info, and I think it's an awesome audience that decided to hang out with me here on this evening. So, as usual, you all make sure, again, as I'm a harp on it, share this with your friends, share this with your family, and really share this with your foes because they need to hear this. If you're not part of the movement, you want to join a group of people that are getting together, that are trying to create change. I try to have meetings every week in my group if possible. Feel free to contact me or look down below the like button in the subscription, and you will find information on how to join that group. It is free, right? Don't charge a dime. So, but again, it's just us getting together, talking about how we can build a new future, whether it be for our families, for ourselves, and definitely in our endeavors to grow a business that builds a new future for the world. So thank you for this time. Join the movement, subscribe, and as usual, had a lot of fun today. As usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace, y'all.